Yes.
All right, just give me a second. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Malhotra, for the kind introduction. And thank you for this opportunity where I'm able to connect to my juniors at one of my favorite places in the world. And so as Dr. Malhotra mentioned, I'll be sharing some of my experience and will hope that some of it will be useful to you guys. So I am a student of 2004 MBBS batch, and I graduated in 2010. And after that, I did my radiology residency from Ames, and then later I joined Harvard MGH as a fellow, and I've recently signed for a job as a cardiovascular staff assistant professor starting January 1st. So some of you might have heard about me and seen this photograph somewhere. So as I mentioned, I graduated in 2010, and I was fortunate to have like good ranks in all major exams at that time. I think now you guys have only NEET, but back then there used to be different competitions, and I was fortunate to have got like top ranks in all major exams, including AIMS, PGI, Chandigarh, and many more, including JIPMER, All India PG, UPPG, BHU, and UPSC. So I would like to share some of my some of the experience from that time when I was studying, and I would want to share how I was successful in getting all those, scoring all those ranks. So first, let me also give a brief description of my journey in United States. So I live in Boston. Boston is one of the big cities along the northeastern coast, and it is in the state of Massachusetts. Boston is um, a city which has like many universities, including Harvard, and it is very well known for education. And so I came here in 2015. I did an observership in the Department of Radiology. And after that, I was able to impress some people here, and they further invited me to join as a research fellow. And I did research fellowship for around 1.5 years, and I continued my hard work. And they later uh, offered me a clinical fellowship in cardiovascular imaging. I did that for 2 years. Then so let me give you a little bit information about the alternate path. I don't know if it is an option for other specialties, but in radiology, if you have done residency outside United States and you just do 4 years of clinical training, then you get board certified and you can have a medical license and you get to practice as a independent practitioner. And so, as I said, I've recently signed for a staff position at Harvard as an assistant professor starting like in less than 15 days. So I would like to I think this is no secret. Like I got all those ranks, and you guys all have been through competitive exams. That's why you guys are here, and you are aware that it takes a lot of planning, a lot of hard work, a lot of perseverance to get success in these competitive exams. But there is more to it. Like I think more important aspect is mental. Like going for these exams, you need to have, I think most important thing is you should have a vision. You should be able to visualize where I'm going and what I want to do in my life. So once you have, it is important to have that vision, because once you have that vision, you can channelize all your energy in one direction. Otherwise, you just like stray around and you kind of lose focus. And once you have a vision, then it becomes easy to like do the hard work. I mean, once you visualize that, okay, I'm doing this to get there. And so no matter how hard you work, it never hurts you, because you always take it as if you're doing something which is taking you closer to your goal. So when I was an MBBS student, I used to study every day 10 hours, starting in my second prof and until my internship year. And I had a single goal in my mind, that I want to be at Ames and I need to do my post graduation from Ames. So every day in the morning I would remind myself of that goal, and I would each day at 5 p.m. I'll enter the reading room and I'll stay there until 5 a.m. in the morning. And with the time I left in the morning, it will give me a sense of pride and a sense of achievement. And I just kept doing that. And at the end of the, like, I think 4.5 years, the result was there for everyone to see. And also, like, having a vision and goal just in itself is not enough, because to be able to do something like this for a long period of time, you need to have some kind of motivation. And I see motivation, like there are different kinds of motivation. The best, I think, motivation is something called as intrinsic motivation, which means that the act of doing something gives you like a sense of reward. Like if some of you might be fortunate and they would already love their field, and for them to be a good doctor or a good dentist would be like their motivation, and that's probably the best kind of motivation. But some of you might still be wondering, why are we here in a medical school or a dental school? So what can they find for their motivation? I think many of us in India come from underprivileged background, and to think like I'm going to do this for my family or my loved ones is another great source of motivation. And then there is a third kind of motivation, which is extrinsic motivation, which is done for some reward. Like some of you might think that I'm going to do this because I want to become famous, I want to become rich. So I think motivation, it doesn't matter where your motivation comes from, but as long as you're able to have that motivation on a consistent basis, it's gonna do wonders. And if you have a clear vision of your goal, and if you are motivated for a long period of time, I don't think anyone can stop you from getting success. I would also like to mention, like, there is a thing called as talent and skill. And I think you all have got this, because you guys reached here after taking competitive exams, and most of us, or I think all of us, all of you guys have that talent, and it's only the matter of focusing your efforts in a direction. And if you do that over a certain amount of time, 3 years or 4 years or whatever time you are there in the medical school or dental school, that should lead you to whatever success you're looking for. All right. Also, it is very important to always listen to positive stuff. I mean, it is important to be aware of negative aspects of competition, but you should always listen to people who have done this before and who will motivate you that it can be done. The time I got these ranks as an MBBS student, then at that time, I think I had great seniors, but they weren't so much focused on getting ranks in postgraduate entrance exams. And so I would have, like, I remember having arguments with some people who would say that it is impossible to get a rank under 100 in All India PG. And it's like, there is like a lot of scam going on. And I mean, you have to prepare for a couple of years after finishing your MBBS, otherwise it's not possible. And there were other people who were like, who got good ranks and they were residents, and I would always go to them and ask them what is it that I should do. And many of them were very helpful. Some of them were like very close to me, and I always looked up to them, and they always motivated me, and they gave me a feedback that if I'm doing the right thing or not. Also, confidence is very important in anything that you do. Some people are naturally confident, and it's very good for them. But some people like me, we have to prove it to ourselves before we can be confident. So I used to give a lot of tests. I started taking test series when I was in like third year. So and I consistently scored in top 5. So it gave me a lot of confidence. So if you feel that you don't have enough confidence, so then just do something and get the result that you want, and it's the best confident builder. Also, staying focused is very important because, as I said, MBS, BDS, they're like long courses, 3 4 years or 5 years or 6 years. So once you start doing the right thing, just keep doing it, because you have to, in a competitive exam, when you have to stay like ahead of others, you have to keep doing this on a consistent basis. So let me now share more like hard work, motivation. I think this much was enough until I got those ranks, and all these things are like they work 100% for something, some competitive exam to score a rank or to qualify exam. But I think once you reach into residency and you become a professional after that, there is much more that goes in. And for me, that was, I learned some different things when I during my journey in United States, and I would like also like to share some of that. So I think for going for education abroad, no doubt that USMLE for medical students, to get good scores in that is a big plus. If you are sending your CV to someone, that's one thing that they look for. Another important thing is to publish. I didn't publish much when I was in India. I didn't publish anything when I was in a medical school, and but I did publish a little bit when I was a resident at Ames. So one thing I think I didn't do well while I was in medical school was I didn't publish. So I would encourage all of you to get involved in some project and finish it and get it published. Another important thing when you want to come abroad is you have to find contacts. You have to find some people who can guide you through this process and who can uh, get you into places, like who can introduce you to like and inform you about any positions that are open that you might not be aware sitting in India. And it's most of us eventually want to get into clinical, some kind of clinical training, fellowship, or residency in United States, but most people don't get it directly. So if you don't get it directly and you are not getting answers for your emails, then try to come for an observership, attend a conference, meet people directly, try to convince them so that they can provide you some opportunity. Another important way to get into the system is doing research fellowships, and I think that solves like it has multiple benefits. You are here working with people directly who might offer you a clinical position later, and you are able to publish in good journals. And yeah, so you once you're in the system, people can see what you can do and they trust you more, and it's easier once you are in the system to get like a clinical position. And asking for help, I think I didn't do much. I didn't ask for help as much as I should have, uh, mostly because I was very shy as a person. And also like at Ames, when I was a resident there, Ames UG alumni, like people who do MBBS or BDS from Ames, they have a very strong alumni, and everyone is very well connected. And I think probably we as Georgians are not so, at least at that time, we were not so well connected. So I know some of my friends who were able to directly get clinical fellowships from AIMS. They came after me, but they directly got clinical fellowship just because they have strong alumni connections and they got good recommendations from them. And that's how they had a shorter path to like clinical fellowship compared to me. And having a mentor is very important. I think this thing is not very much highlighted. It wasn't very much highlighted when I was a medical student. And finding the right mentor for you, who suits you and who is trustworthy for you, and who is successful in the field that you are interested to work in is really critical. And once you are here in the United States, I think, as I said, hard work always works. If you, once you are here, once I was here personally, I focused on working hard. I was working 7 days a week, and I showed them results. I got them grants. I got them publications, and I won the trust of those people that I was working with. And once I was able to do that, they have been standing by me throughout my journey. And I would say winning the trust of people in long run is the best currency that there is. And one important thing that I would like to highlight is, as Indians, we are like culturally, we are like a little bit too modest. Once we come here in the United States, people here are like very good at showing how good they are, even if they're not. But we, in our culture, we are always told that try to be modest, don't be like a show off, which is good, because I'm not saying that you have to be like a show off arrogant, because no one likes that. But you have to find a balance, because if you are too modest, then people think that you're not confident. They will underestimate you, your skills will go unnoticed, and you will end up being a follower at best and not a leader in the field. So it is important. I think personally, I think most of us Indians have this problem, and you should keep this in mind. Like, you should be able to talk about your success in a way that doesn't sound like bragging, but it, you should be confident about it. And I think another aspect that is very important is to learning how to communicate, how to understand people and get them to like you, because at least make sure that they don't hate you, because at least in United States, it's very important that you are very good to work with and everyone should like you. And it goes without saying that you should be able to write good emails. You should not be shy to talk to people, and building contacts is very important. So in summary, I think the first and foremost thing is to set a goal and create a vision for what you guys want to do in life. It makes it very easy. You can focus all your energy in one direction and stay motivated, stay focused, and find a mentor. Publish as much as you can while you're in medical school. Study hard, get good scores in your exams, and connect with people and build trust and win their trust. And this will go a long way. Thank you. This is my email. And if anyone of you wants to connect to me, you can write to me directly anytime.
Thank you, Dr. Vinit. It was really nice of you to agree and present your journey. I know from your talk why you are so much of student choice. The students here said we have been in contact with Dr. Vinit and he has been guiding us. So he would be the right person to speak to. And I just contacted you in the last minute and you agreed. And yours.
No problem. Always happy to do that.
Yeah. So nice. So I see you have been a performer and achiever, hardworking person all through. When did it strike you to become take MBBS as your profession, as your?
No, I was a very much an average student by most standards. When I was in first year MBBS, probably I would say I wasn't focused. I didn't have a goal. But sometime during early second professional, and one day I just decided that I just have to do something big, and I want to do something really important, and I would just want to go to AIMS. And that vision, that dream kind of stuck in my head, and I kept just working hard and hard each and every day, and everything worked out.
So your journey to US started taking shape
After,
in Ames or here in KGMU only?
no, I didn't think about going to US when I was in MBBS. But most importantly, probably was it financially. It looked difficult to me because it's very costly exam, and you have to come and stay in US. And I didn't think that I have enough financial support to be able to do that. But once I was doing residency, I was earning and I had some savings. And also, like, when we are in India, we just look like what is next. And I think Ames looked next stop to me. And I never thought that I should go to abroad. And but once I got to Ames, and then I thought that international experience is also important. So when I came to US, my initial goal wasn't to like stay here and come settle here, but my initial goal was just to get some international experience so that I can feel more confident about myself and just to see what is out there.
Yeah, very good. So, what would you like to advise to the students to prepare for USMLE from the very beginning when they have joined MBBS?
I think,
Or
yeah, because MBBS or BDS, they're like, we have long courses, and there are too many subjects. So if you keep it to like until very late, then you have to go back to those subjects which you studied 4 years before. So it becomes really challenging. So I think in US, the MBBS, like medical students, they take step one when they're like in second year of medical school. And because they're fresh with their knowledge of anatomy, biochemistry, and physiology. And yeah, so I would recommend that. I personally was in the mindset of cracking a postgraduate entrance exam from starting second year of MBBS. I mean, as I said, I was pretty average student to start with, and but I had like some positives, like I have a good long-term memory and I can stay focused on my goal for a long period of time if I like the subject that I'm reading. So yeah, so I started early because there are too many subjects, and you just want to utilize all the time that you can get. And I think starting right away, at least like first professional, maybe too early, because you're still trying to figure out how to adjust in the medical school or your dental school. But I think second year is a good time to start, especially for MBBS students, because the pathology, biochemistry, and microbiology, I think if you get those things right, it sets a very strong foundation for like things to come.
okay, now you have studied in KGMU, you have studied in Ames, and you have had international exposure. What
Yeah.
would you say about the type of education being imparted in three places? Means, what would you want the
I,
KGMU to
yeah,
take further action into, and how to improve?
yeah.
Uh, some
Yeah,
suggestions
I
from your side.
think
Yeah.
you already become better. As I've got heard from my juniors, things have already changed a lot. So, uh, but one thing that I think in US, the best thing that I like here is everyone is very approachable. You can go and speak to anyone without fearing that they will judge you or they will like identify you. And I mean, there was like rumors in when I was a medical student. Every of my seniors used to say that don't get noticed by your professors. I think that culture should change. I think it might have already changed, but I think if you can have like people who are like your professors and you can go and directly talk to them, it's a very good thing to have. And also I think generally we have a very good education system. I think I was going to clinics in start second year of my medical school, and I think that's like a very I think that anywhere else like at Ames, and I think at AIMS, the students didn't used to go to clinic as much as we did. And I don't interact too much with medical schools here in US, medical students here in US, because probably they don't rotate to radiology that much. But I think so I've seen that they are very well supported. Like when they rotate through, like they come to radiology, they get to meet everyone, and they are like they are very much encouraged to participate in clinic like they get to sit in conference and ask questions, and so
Yes,
they don't
that's what I
hesitate.
feel. That's what I feel in undergraduate period. The
Yeah,
students are not very much focused on presenting papers or on taking small research projects or
yeah.
on writing articles. So these two, three things I think should be taken up by these students if they are more inclined towards higher education
Yeah. So
internationally.
things that we were doing as residents over
Yes,
here, medical
yes,
students are doing that. So they
yes,
get like more hands-on experience of the specialty. Like for us, it was like when we were choosing specialties, we didn't have much first-hand experience of working in that field. But I think as medical students, they do projects from very beginning, and they are like more hands-on, and they get to know the field better as during their medical school.
yeah. So I would thank you so much, Vinit, for joining us, and I'd like to present you a certificate for
Thank
your presentation here, and it will definitely reach you on your email too.
Sure.
So just
And I would like to like stay involved in the future, and yeah, so
thank
just
you,
let when you
thank
need
you.
me.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Uh, Richa, would you like to take over? You are muted. No, we can't hear you. Okay, no, we can't hear you. So our next speaker is Dr. Himani Gupta, and she is from Calgary, such a beautiful place and such a beautiful person Himani is. She's BDS from KGMU. Uh, Richa, are you back? No. Okay, we can't hear you. So Himani, uh, do you have some presentation or we are going to just talk about it?
I do have a little bit of PowerPoint.
Yeah, please, then I'll make you
Yeah,
co-host and you please share your screen. Uh,
yeah, sure.
yeah, so please, you may now share your screen.
I am not sure how to do that though.
There is a green
I can
icon.
get to your screen, I think.
You have to click on
Or
share
maybe,
screen. You have to click on share screen and then,
oh, that option is not showing up. I'm not sure why. Few minutes ago, I tried to, but that time
in the bottom row,
it was showing up.
in the bottom row, you will see a green
Okay, okay.
share screen.
Yes, yes, yes.
Click on that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So, um,
Put it on slideshow.
yes, yeah, okay. I was trying to, still it's not working
No,
though.
it will work with the arrow on the screen, not on your laptop.
Oh, okay, okay.
So there would be a forward arrow on your screen. You need to work with that.
Okay. So, yeah. Can you see my screen now, everyone?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. So, hi, everyone. My name is Himani Gupta, and I'm live from Calgary right now, Canada. And let me tell you a little bit about myself first. So, I graduated here. I completed my DDS in the year 2011 from Dalhousie University, Halifax. And before that, I did my BDS from KGMC. I completed my internship in 2006. And then I moved to Canada in 2007. And currently I'm doing private practice. I have my own clinic. And almost since last about 10 years, I'm working as a general dentist here and pretty much doing everything in general dentistry. Oh. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about the past. So I moved to Canada in 2007 after completing the internship from KGMC, and I moved here with my parents as immigrants. They had applied for immigration a long time ago, like maybe when I just started KGMC dentistry there, and I didn't know about that. So when I was in my final year, that time I got to know that, okay, our application is approved and we are going to Canada. So I was doing internship for final year, and I was starting to prepare for masters. And then all of a sudden I got to know that no, we would be moving to Canada. But I kind of requested them that, okay, maybe I should at least try there once before deciding to all of a sudden move here, because it was news to me. It was not, I didn't know that we'll be going to a different country all of a sudden. So they were okay with that. So I almost stayed there for a few months after internship. But I didn't get into any of the the postgraduate exams. So finally I moved here in 2007, and I prepared for certain exams here for licensing in Canada. And I got selected in 2009 in Dalhousie University, Halifax. It was a 2-year program. It finished in 2011, and then then I gave my national boards and the state exams. The dental laws for different states are different. And then finally I got the practicing license for Calgary. So that's a little bit about the history and a little bit of what I do here, just for some humor. Okay. So this is the school where I went to, a couple of pictures from before. And this is me long time ago, like once upon a time, barely recognizable now. So a lot of things have changed now, but I thought it's fresh memory to review the past now. So it was a good occasion for me to go and look back at the pictures. So Calgary, as you might have all heard, Canada, the weather is not very good. This is from yesterday and today. Continuous snowfall since last 2 days. But summers are good usually. You might have visited this lake, Divya ma'am. This is Moraine Lake, and it's beautiful here in summer, but summer unfortunately doesn't last too long. It's about like maybe 3-4 months. So anyways, lots of times people ask me, students who are aspirants who ask me about what is the procedure here to move to Canada and to start practicing. So I've just made a brief summary of how to go about clearing exams or what exams there are. So first and foremost, the exams are known as AFK exams. They are multiple choice questions based, and about 300 questions are there. You can only attempt any of these exams just 3 times. And once you clear the AFK exams, which is like assessment of fundamental knowledge, then you apply with the AFK scores. So what I did was, with those scores, I applied to different dental universities. So that time, that was the only option, that you had to go to school and you had to complete DDS, which was 2 years back then. Nowadays, there are more options, and the DDS is actually, you have to upgrade for 3 years. And once that's done, then you get to give the national boards, and then you get the degree of DDS here. But nowadays, there's another option. Without going to a dental university, you can directly give licensing exams. So a couple of more exams after AFK, you have to give ACJ and ACS, which is assessment of clinical judgment and clinical skills. Clinical skills is more a 2-day intense program. They ask about different kinds of cavity preps, crown preps, rubber dams, this and that. And clinical judgment is more about diagnosis and case planning and interpretation of x-rays and all that. Then once you clear all these exams, then you apply for national boards, and then you get to, once that is also cleared, then you get to start practicing in any of the states that you want. So a brief overview, this actually, I stole this flow chart from the NDBE website, and I've attached the links also. basically just saying the same thing what I just told her how to give these exams. Okay. So these are some of the important links. Basically, so dentistry here is
we have lost Himani.
We can't hear her.
I think we have lost her. Maybe internet issue. She'll join again. So students may have your questions collected by the time she's Himani, yes, we have you back. Yeah, but you are muted. You have to unmute yourself, and I need to make you. Okay, you are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So basically, the good thing is right after completing DDS, there's no requirement of doing internship. And right away, if you clear all the exams, you can start working as a dentist here. Not too many people go for doing PG or masters, because first of all, if you do PG, then you cannot practice general dentistry. So if you are an oral surgeon, you cannot do fillings, or if you are an orthodontist, you cannot do arch CTs. And so that's why more than 90% of the people just directly start practicing without worrying about going to do PG. So that is one thing. That way it's quite rewarding. You can right away start practicing. It's quite versatile. You get to do all the procedures. And basically in the dental school itself, you get to learn a lot, but obviously you need to take more courses down the road to upgrade your skills and to get those points that you have to take. Other thing about dentistry over here is quite insurance driven. So mostly people have insurance through their companies, through the jobs where they work. And even if they don't have a problem, there's a lot of awareness right now over here in the population. So even if they don't have any problems, they would still go to the dentist once or twice every year to get their exams and checkups and x-rays and everything. If I have to say something negative, then the only thing, it's very competitive here. Lots of people from different countries move and give the exams. And so it's a lot of competition. Almost everybody wants to own their own practice and work as a dentist. So almost every nook and corner, wherever there's a shopping plaza, nowadays it's lots of people are coming to Canada, and not just Canada, to coming to Calgary. But it's very rewarding. It's quite versatile. And every day you learn something new when you go to see patients. So that's the fun part of working as a dentist here.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, you can ask.
Yes. I know you are running a chain of clinics.
No, I just have one clinic.
Okay. So one clinic only. Okay, I thought I had the impression. Yeah. Okay. So how did you feel when you were studying in this institute, Dalhousie University? How different it was in the studies? You may say from KGMU.
So when nowadays KGMU has changed a lot. I visited the faculty like few years ago, and I was amazed to see how the technology has changed and it's upgraded. But back then when I came, that time clinically, I mean, we get to see a lot of patients, but like, for example, I basically just did silver fillings or just simple extractions or basic things you get to know. So when I came here and I went to dental school here, I got to learn a lot. Like clinically, my skills improved a lot. And a lot of things like presentations and all were on laptops and all. But I'm pretty sure even nowadays in your KJMU, probably students get to do a lot of things on laptop and online classes and all that, which were not there back then. Yeah. So when I came here, it was quite new to me. And I enjoyed going to school here quite a lot, even though nowadays the procedure is that you can directly give exams. But I would prefer, if I have to come now, or if I have to give an advice to somebody, I would prefer that it's better to go to dental school and learn things the way they are done here, the laws here, the techniques here, what are the expectations, especially the legal aspects and all that are quite new to me over here, which I didn't know. Nowadays it might be there, but that time when I came, things were not the way they were taught here. So it was
Himani,
quite.
as I was looking through the website for some universities in Canada, and I found that you have to be a citizen of Canada to apply for study. So
Yeah.
without being a citizen, you can't be a student there.
No,
Even
so
for
you have to, yeah, you're right. So either you have to be a citizen or at least you have to be a permanent resident. So you have to have a PR card. So that's why you have to think ahead in advance. Like if you're planning to go, you have to maybe apply right away because the procedure that time took about 4 or 5 years. So that's why I didn't even know I came with my parents. So they had applied. And when I was in my final year or so, then they told me that it's approved now we have to go. So they came and I had to stay back there in KGMU to finish my internship, and then I came. So like people do come as international students also, but the fees is very high, and you cannot get loan or anything from, like, you have to pay for the college fees. So obviously you don't have that much money when you come to Canada. There's a lot of struggle in the beginning, so you apply for loans and all. So you cannot practice here if you don't have a PR card or a citizenship. So that's why you have to think ahead in advance and apply for those right away. And by the time the procedure is done, then you come here and give exams, and so you have to
yeah,
stay here.
that's good. Yeah, that's good for students who are whose parents are there. Means if the student has to study, then that means the parents have to plan 4 5 years in ahead. That yes, this daughter or son is studying.
Yeah,
For further studies, we need to shift ourselves to the other country.
exactly. So my parents
So
actually had to sacrifice a lot for their kids. And initially when they came, they didn't had any jobs, and right away we need financing to oh, I cannot hear you again. Yeah, now it's good. So it's either parents, or once if you're coming here as a single person, like if let's say parents are not able to come here, then you have to at least have that financial support, or maybe some sponsor here who can take the guarantee that yes, you're coming and you would be a good citizen. So one way or the other, but you have to definitely plan in advance.
yeah, Akansha, do you have questions from the students?
Ma'am, there is one question.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, what if we skip the process of DDS there? What negative effects it may cause?
Sorry, can you please repeat? I can't
If
hear
you,
you like clearly.
Akansha is saying if you skip DDS, you don't want to do DDS there. Can you practice? I don't think so.
No, so the thing is, so there are two options. If you look at my slides again, one option, so when I came, that was the only option. You have to go to a school, dental school, and you have to do DDS.
And
Nowadays,
that was a condensed course. So after doing your 4 years there, you
yeah,
had to do a condensed course of 2 years only.
only 2 years. So you get admission in the third year of dental DDS. So third year and fourth year you do, and then there's no internship, and you just give national boards, and then you get the degree. Nowadays, there is another procedure. You get direct licensing also. So you give all those exams, AFK exams. So in my slideshow, I have attached some websites, the link for the website. So if you clear those exams, but even then those exams take at least 1.5 to 2 years. If you're really smart and if you really clear all those, and if you really get good scores, then I would say within 1.5 to 2 years, you get the license. But mostly people, because it's very competitive, so mostly people come and they have to take few attempts. So it definitely takes a couple of years. Even without doing DDS or without going to dental university, you can still get the license after clearing those exams.
Thank you. Richa, do you want to ask anything to her?
Yeah, so hi Himani, how are you? Ma'am, am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So hi. So I was just going through your bios and some of the websites where you're working in. So did you try pursuing post-graduation as well?
No, I haven't tried that yet.
Okay.
Because as I said, not many people go for post graduation right away. People right after dental school, people start practicing because they want to improve their clinical skills and they want to learn. And also, once you do post graduation, then you cannot practice general dentistry. So if you are an orthodontist, you can only do ortho. You cannot do other things here. So that's why I think that is the main reason. then after maybe 10 or 15 years of general practicing, sometimes people decide that, oh, I'm good at this particular skill, so maybe I should go, and this is what interests me more. If I only want to do implants, maybe I should go and become a prosthodontist, or if I only want to do endo. So right away, not many people go. Maybe 1 or 2%, in my entire class, just maybe 1 or 2 people went for post-graduation, but mostly people just practice right away.
So core 1 and 2 is a postgraduate level.
Oh no, so core 1 and 2, I think that is a course based in Las Vegas Institute in US.
Okay.
So it's just an advanced course. It's not affiliated with any dental university or anything. You just have to sign up and pay for the fee, and anybody can take it.
So a skill enhancement.
Yes.
So during your studies, you have taken additional courses from different places.
That was, yeah. Because every 2 years you have to submit certain points to upgrade your license.
Okay.
So you have to take those courses.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think we can have a quick photograph because Vinit wants to leave. Vinit, can you? Yes. Lipika, Kansha, you can also have your videos on, and we'll take a pic and then we'll proceed ahead. Lipika.
Yeah, she's there.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's good that we can connect online in this COVID time. We would have not thought of it if we were.
I think Dr. Chhavi is also with us.
Dr. Chhavi is with us.
Yeah,
yes.
she's here.
She's here. She's on. She has a video on.
Oh,
So I'll now like to share, Himani, my screen and present you certificate. It will reach you through WhatsApp or email. But thank you for joining us, Himani. Thank you so much.
It's muted.
Okay. Over to you, Pavitra.
thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Oh, welcome all, and a very good morning to everyone present here. And as we all know that it's Alumni Mentorship Congress, and this Congress is the next year also. We have the third orator. Yes, ma'am?
Yes. Yes. We can see you, Pavitra.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can
So
hear
you're
you.
audible, you're audible.
Sure. So our third orator of today's program is a very multi-dimensional doctor, very elegant, and Dr. Chhavi Gupta, who has proven the meaning of her name. And I think we are with Dr. Chhavi Gupta. I would like to elaborate a few points of Dr. Chhavi. She did her MBBS from King George's Medical University from 1995 to 2000. And then she went to the United States, cleared her USMLE, and did her residency and fellowship from Miami University. And she practiced a nephrology group practice for a few years. Then she started her private practice in Tampa Bay Renal. And after this, few other extracurricular activities, I would like to tell you everyone that she won the title of Mrs. India Florida 2015 and Mrs. India USA 2016 and Mrs. Royal International Florida Role Model 2017. And she acted in several features and short films also. So now I request the nephrologist, Dr. Chhavi Gupta, please.
Thank you so much, Pavitra. That was really kind of you and really very generous, but thank you so much. And thank you all for having me over. And I would definitely love to, help all the undergrads, because I was one at one time, and I know how it feels to have a goal and have some guidance. So it really is amazing that you set this up, Pavitra, and all of you who are behind this setting this up. I can see Dr. Malhotra and everyone. So excellent. I'm so proud of all of you, really. So I just a little bit, I did my KGMC medical school or pre-med, what we call in India, undergrad, and from 95 to 2000, and then finished my internship. And just when I was finishing up my internship, I did give my PG exams, but I got married within a few weeks, so I came here. I did get into all the PGs, which was great, but obviously that came when the results came when I was already here in the US. So my husband, he's from All India Institute, AIMS, and he was finishing up his residency here in Georgetown, Washington, DC, and starting his fellowship. That's how I came. I got married and joined him in Washington, DC. So the idea I want to give to these undergrads, the pre-med students, is if you're planning to come to the US, it is very important to give the USMLE right away after you finish your medical school, because everything is fresh in your mind. Medicine is very volatile, and you have to. So you have to find someone who recently passed these USMLE, the exams, and have their guidance. I was fortunate. My husband, as I said, he's from AIMS. He was super, super smart. So he told me, he said, these are the books. And, I did some research in Georgetown. I asked some people, and my husband was there. So basically what I read was, at that time, so I gave both PGs. I gave Indian PG. I got selected, but I immediately came here. So I gave both Indian PG and the USMLE. So they are very different. In Indian PG, the questions are one-liner questions, simple. They're not simple, but they're one-liner. The USMLE questions are very different. They are long questions, more of a diagnosis, management. It's more of a case-based questions. It's not like a one-liner. What is the most common cause of, renal cell, things. So basically, you start preparing. You get the right books, right person to guide you, and don't waste time. Start preparing. So, I got married. I had like 2 weeks of vacation and then back to, studying, which was good because everything was fresh in my mind. So USMLE 1, you have basic science, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, the first prof things. Second, USMLE 2, it's management. How do you manage things? And USMLE 3 is, management and diagnosis. So, and then there's a CSA, clinical skill assay, which is, so when foreign graduates come to the US, they're very particular about the bedside manners, how you talk to a patient. It's very different from India. It is very different. So they want to see that. So they've added this step, CSA. And so make sure you read the right books, you meet the right person to guide you, and get really good scores. Because then when you finish this, which takes a year, step 1, step 2, 3 months, step 3, and then a CSA. Then you apply for residency. In residency, they really want good scores. So ideally above 90. They see research, if you've done any research. Sometimes they see good references, ideally from the US, because they don't know if someone great or amazing is writing a good reference back in India. They really don't know. So a good reference. Sometimes they see MPH. So research, excellent scores, and good reference, ideally from US if you've done some rotations. I did some external rotation. Like before residency, I rotated in in a hospital in Washington, DC. And so that's how I got some good reference. They want to see that you're a friendly person. You are not shy. You are not afraid to talk. They really want something like that. They will interview. So you'll apply for residency, then you will get an interview call, and then you will have to, have an interview. The program director they won't ask you questions. There's no medical questions. It's just about life. So what do you like, and then they want to see how open you are, because eventually you'll have to practice medicine and talk to patients every single day. So that's what they want to see. So then once you apply for residency, it's through ERA's system. It's a national match system. And it's sometimes they get a pre-match. Like I got a pre-match, like even before the match opens up on a day, particularly in March, I think, they'll tell you, hey, we really like you, we would want you. So that's good. So once you start your residency, I did internal medicine. So once you're in residency, by first year of residency, you should know what specialty you want. And it's good to do specialty because lifestyle is better. Of course, reimbursement is better. So, so by I think very early in first year, I was very much into that I want to do nephrology. And so by first year of internship, if you know what you want, you start directing your goal towards that. So start to find rotation in a good with a good mentor. So I fortunately did a rotation with a very famous nephrologist here in the US. He's like the godfather of nephrology. I didn't know that at that time when I rotated with him, but I did read up because I knew that I wanted to impress the attendings there. So I read up a lot. And then while rotating that for 1 month, I found out that he was one of the most famous nephrologists in the country. This was in George Washington, in Washington, DC. George Washington Hospital is a very famous hospital where all the politicians go. So you must have heard. So anyhow, and then he was, thankfully, because I read that a lot, and I rotated with him during rounds, during hospital rounds. He was very happy, and he gave me a very good recommendation. The second thing for fellowship, which is DM, what we call in India, is you need to do research, So I did a lot of research. I did on kidney transplant protocols. I did a lot of research in nephrology, presented papers in ASN, American Society of Nephrology. That's the biggest journal in nephrology. And then NKF, National Kidney Foundation. So that's very important, So by first year, you should know what you want so you can start doing these things. If, sometimes I know some of my colleagues were by second year, they knew, but that's okay. It's not too late. You can still direct your goal. Sometimes it takes time to find out what you love. And it's very important to find what you love. Don't just do something because your friend is doing it. If you like rheumatology or cardiology or GI, go for it. Do what you love, because then you don't have to work a single day. You will love what you do. I love nephrology, and I am so happy that I did that. So anyhow, so I did a lot of research, and I did a rotation with a very famous nephrologist in the country. So I got good recommendations. And then you apply for fellowship, which is like DM in India. So thankfully, because of my research and my recommendation, I got offers for fellowship, and I got accepted in University of Miami, Jackson Memorial Hospital, which is one of the largest nephrology programs in the United States, meaning it is one of the most sought after. And also we do the most kidney transplants in that program, so which is good. There were a lot of candidates, so it was really nice. I was really nervous when I went for the interview, but I think the chairman of nephrology had done similar research that I did during my second year of residency. So he was very happy. So I think that helps. So as I said, research in the United States is, they really give a lot of points to that. So if you can do it, that will be really nice. So that's how I got my fellowship. In the meantime, my husband had finished, he was doing his fellowship. He's triple board certified. So he did his 3 fellowships in the meantime when I was doing all this. And then, so I did my fellowship from nephrology, University of Miami. And then, we decided to settle down. And so we came to Tampa, Florida. Miami is very close to Tampa. It's beautiful weather. So if you guys, please, it's an open invitation. So all of you, please come visit us here in Tampa, Florida. Let us know and then stay with us, and it'll be really nice. So anyhow, so now I want to tell you what is important, that why it is important to know what you want to do and how it is different from India practicing here in any specialty that you practice. So as I said, I'm a nephrologist. I first started, so there are three basic types of practice in United States. One is an academic setup, which is you are in a university and, like a faculty member. The second is a group practice. So there are X number of physicians, or let's say I'm giving my example, nephrologist in a group, and they will take home what they see, meaning the number of patients they see, that reimbursement will come to them, and the whole overhead will be divided by the X number of physicians, meaning if there's an office space and the staff that is working, it'll be divided by the X number of physicians. So I first joined a big group, but there's not a lot of, I feel that you can't make a lot of changes if you're in a big group, and you can't have the way you want to set up your practice in a big group. So then I started my own practice. It's called Tampa Bay Renal. It's in Tampa. So Tampa Bay Renal LLC a few years ago. And so I'm a solo private practitioner, nephrologist in Tampa. It has best of both worlds because I'm my own boss. And the other thing is we are 4 nephrologists in my group, that they're all 4 different solo practitioners. So we share calls. So in India, when you practice, I have colleagues who practice medicine, and it's really hard. I feel that it's hard for them to take off, and because who's going to cover for their patients? Here, the system is amazing, and it's you have a schedule. So we'll take 1 week call in the hospital. The second week I'm in the office. The third week I'm doing dialysis rounds. So it's a very set, and then it rotates. Every 4th weekend I'm on call. So I have a life. I can go for vacation, and I don't have to worry about my patients because my colleague is covering for me. So when he's on vacation, I'm covering for him. And so we are 4 of us. So it's beautiful. You have a life, and it's of course good reimbursement also. So I want to tell, I'm open to questions anytime. So feel free to stop me. I just want to make sure that I give the important points to all those pre-med students who I'm sure they have some questions, because I want to make sure that I want to let them know that if you have a set mind to come to the US, then as soon as you finish your internship, even before that, start preparing, get ready and get used to seeing USMLE books, because Indian PG is very different from PG, the USMLE here. And I gave both back to back, so I know. I got into Indian PG and USMLE. I scored really well. So, but they are very different. The way you're going to read it, that's why when I came to the US, my husband said, okay, whatever you read, forget it. You have to start reading in a new fashion. So I thankfully, he told me the right thing. It's a different pattern here. So just to summarize, take home points, if you're thinking to come to the US, early on, if you know, I knew it only after internship, but if you know early on, get some books from, USMLE books from Delhi. I think they have it in Ames inside. I'm sure they have it elsewhere also. And start familiarizing yourself with it. Then, if you're coming here for sure, start giving USMLE 1, prepare. At least you need 3 months for USMLE step 1, 3 months for step 2, and 3 months for step 3, for sure. And then good scores, excellent scores. And when you come here, if you can do some external rotation, maybe some basic research, otherwise good scores are also very good. Apply for residency. During an interview, They're not going to ask you medical questions. Trust me, don't have to stress about reading before the interview. They're going to ask, see how open you are. You're not shy to talk, you're not afraid to talk in general, just about life. And then once you're in residency, in the first year, start thinking, it's important to do a fellowship or a DM because one, the quality of life is better. The second, reimbursement is better. So, lifestyle is better. So that's both are important, I think. So start thinking what you want and only go for that particular specialty which you think you will love, because then remember, you're going to do this all your life and you want to enjoy this. So start thinking about it. Once you know it, start setting your goals. Okay, you're going to do some rotations with some good attending physicians. You're going to hook up with somebody who's good in research. So start doing that. Then apply for fellowship and then, go from there. As a practicing nephrologist, I can tell you, I love what I do. It's like fun because here I think we have in the US, we have great resource. So if you want to diagnose something rare or something, out of the blue, we have the resources. So we can like order those tests. Plus there's a lot of coverage. Like if I want to go for a vacation for a week, I have a covering physician who can take care. That's very important because, as a physician, you're always responsible for a patient. So you want to make sure that when you go for a vacation, you are happy and satisfied that somebody else is taking care of your patients. And then, I do dialysis rounds, I do office patients clinic, which we call in India, and then hospital rounds. I love hospital round. During this pandemic, we saw a lot of COVID patients. We saw in the ICU, a lot of COVID patients had acute kidney injury, kidney failure. Most of them got improved. Actually, thankfully, I don't remember a patient. Yeah, all of them got improved. One was on dialysis, but finally came out of dialysis. So yeah, really when you choose a branch which you love, you will see good results and you will enjoy it. And every day is like you're going to work, but you're enjoying what you do. So that's it shouldn't be like, oh my God, today I have to go to work. It should be like, wow, okay, today I'm going to see something interesting. And we do see a lot of interesting cases. And during this COVID, we saw really good, and it was really very busy for us. So, but I'm glad that I was there to help. So any questions, I would be happy to answer.
Yeah, Chhavi, I have a question. So if
Yes.
the student here has done USMLE part 1, so the student goes to US to give the part 1.
Mhm.
So the student should plan beforehand that whenever he or she is going for part 1, he should find an attachment or observership in that duration only. So that should be the plan. Do your USMLE part 1 and plus take some observerships. During this observership period, you may like to, how do you ask for rotations, that posting, how do you apply for those postings, rotational postings?
So so now in India, I know you can give step 1, step 2. I think you can give step 3 also now. I'm pretty sure, but I have to check. But yeah, so when you come here, you've done step 1, you're doing some observership. So nowadays they're making it a little more difficult for these observerships. So you have to go to, basically it's through the medical staff office in a hospital. So let's say he lands up in Washington, DC. So he goes to Georgetown, make a CV and, dress up nicely, go there and ask where's the medical staff office. Everything has to be approved because they are so particular about, HIPAA violation and someone privacy, patient protection and all that. So they have, usually I know here we have medical students rotating with us sometimes, like in the hospital I have, and a lot of medical students rotate with my husband, I know. So they go through the medical staff office. There is a form you fill and you give your credentials. Where are you from? You're really, all those things and a CV, and then they will approve that. And it it usually gets approved. I mean, I did an observership before residency, and it will get approved. So go to the that hospital. It should be a big hospital, so you get to see good cases. You know, a bigger hospital, a county hospital, George Washington, Georgetown. These are good big hospitals, or any hospitals. You know, you go to the medical staff, you apply, you give them your CV. They will give you a form. You fill up that form. Within a few weeks, they will contact you, and they will be okay with the observation. Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So how do you apply for the residency program?
So I don't know what it is now, but it is through the ERAS system. So once you finish, you can apply for residency after step 1 and step 2 and CSA. Step 3 can be given after residency. So so there are visas, you know, I know there's a visa issue. So if you're doing step 1 and step 2 only, then you come on a J1, I think, is it J1 visa. If you've given, if you're coming through an H1, then you have to give step 3 also, something like that. So whatever visa you're coming through, you give step 1, step 2, and then there's an electronic system, ERAS. It's called ERAS, E-R-A-S, I think, ERAS system, and I've forgotten, it's been years. So ERAS system, it's very friendly, like user friendly. So if I can get you more information on that, but you have to put your USMLE scores, step 1, step 2, anything else, CSA results, and then electronic residency application system. Yes, I remember now. Electronic residency application system. So if any student, any of you students who are listening, please note down electronic residency application system. Just Google that. It's very user friendly. You have to put in all your rotations, your USMLE scores, and then that will, and then you apply to, some people are choosy. They only want to apply to, suppose in New York or DC because they have family there. That's fine. Some people apply to throughout the country. It doesn't matter. Anywhere, you know, if anywhere I'll go there. So they will do that. And then the other thing is, what was that? Yeah. So once you apply there to different programs, then you will get accepting interview calls. You'll get interview calls from all these places, and then you schedule your interviews. Once you interview, then all these programs, it's all electronic. So all these programs are going to, they have a connection through called the National Matching System. So it's finally released on a day in, I think in March, if I remember, and it'll open up, and then you can see where you match. Meaning matching means where your where you got the residency. So where you, suppose you interviewed at 15 places, and on the National Matching Day, you will find out that you got accepted in that particular thing. So I think, I don't know, it's called the National Residency Matching Program, NRMP. So remember these, I just remembered. So anyway, Googled it. ERAS, Electronic Residency Application System, and the National Residency Matching Program, NRMP. It's been like how many years? I don't know, 12 years maybe. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty, and it's very easy and super user friendly. It was like this. The tough thing is the studying for USMLE and getting good scores. It's not tough, but try not to waste time. Once you come here, start preparing. So, you know, because there's always enough time to have fun later on, but start preparing as soon as you come. You know, take a 2 weeks off, and that's it. Okay.
Deepika,
right.
do you have any question from the students?
Yes, ma'am. I have a few questions.
Yes.
Hello, Chhavi ma'am. I'd like to ask you if, like, the students are not exactly sure about the specialization they want to pursue in. like at a very early stage. So what can you suggest to them to as to be mainly make clear key they want to pursue nephrology or cardiology or something? If you have any pointers.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, sometimes you don't know because, you're just in a different country, you're doing a residency, you're learning new things. It's a totally different kind of practice. It's absolutely fine. So you do your residency, and I have colleagues who did their residency, finished their residency, internal medicine residency, did work, started job as an internist or we call hospitalist or a primary care physician for several years, maybe 1 year to 5 years, and then decided one day, you know what, I think I like this. I think I like rheumatology. So then I have a friend who did that. And then she did I think she did some research and she rotated with a rheumatologist. And then she did some research with a rheumatologist who was in a university setting, like not a very, like doesn't have to be a mega research, simple research, let's say she took she did chart review of 200 patients who were on vitamin D for autoimmune disease in rheumatology field, and then she just did simple research, and then she applied, and then she got. So it's okay. Sometimes I think by first 2 months of my residency, I thought I just liked acid. I like acid base. I like electrolytes, and so I think that helped being liking nephrology. But it's okay. It's completely okay, because then it's better. I'll tell you why. Because if you thought, oh, I have to decide something, I have to think of a fellowship, and you choose something that you were not sure of, and then you went into that. Imagine doing all that work and going through fellowship. Fellowship is, hard work. You are on your own, and then after 2 years or 3 years of fellowship, you decide, you know what, I'm not into this, or this was not meant for me. So don't rush. I just said that because if you know, a lot of times people do know. I had colleagues who knew, I had colleagues who didn't know, which is okay, but take your time, but only choose if you love that. That's very important, because remember, this is not a transient thing. This is what you do every single day. Every single day you wake up and do this. So you have to love it.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, another question, and the fellowships and the residencies and all, this could be taxing in both mentally and maybe financially. So could you have any advice to stay motivated through it all? Like the good part comes after years of struggle, like you need to put in hard work first. So
yeah, so no, I have to tell you, there's a beautiful, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and this tunnel is not too long, it's very short, and the light at the end of this tunnel is beautiful. I have to tell you that. I went through this, so I'm telling you. So yeah, you don't get a lot of pay in during residency. I think it's $50,000, $50,000 per year, which is not a lot in the US, and but we still enjoyed. I still remember me and my husband, when I was doing my residency, he was finished. He did 3 fellowships. So that was, so it was not a lot, but we were very happy. And plus it's not so taxing. I know residency in India, I have seen, I was a pre-med student in KGMC, so I know it can be more taxing. Here, the ACGME actually, several years ago, maybe 15 years ago, they made, there was a case that a resident was sleep deprived for 48 hours, and he made a mistake, and a patient died. So what, a Bell Commission, I think it was a Bell Commission thing. And so they made this rule, no resident can work more than 24 hours. And so now when we are post-call as an intern, when I was post-call the next morning, we had to leave and we had to give all the patients to our senior, which is like the second year resident, because this law was passed by, it's called Bell Commission. If you Google it, you'll find it. The patient, the person who died, her dad was a lawyer. So he made this law that he was not angry on the resident who gave the wrong dose of the medication. He was angry at how many hours this resident had to work. and had to be sleep deprived to give a wrong dose. So don't be stressed. It is sweet. The residency, it's amazing. You work, you have your colleagues, you learn together. It is, trust me, mental, physical, financial, don't worry about it. You get a pay 50,000, you can have a nice car, you can live in an apartment. You can't afford a house, but you can live in an apartment, and you can have a happy life. And remember, the reimbursement after you do your residency and fellowship is amazing. I have to tell you that. It is very good. So if you have something at the end, that is very sweet and yummy, you will do it. Okay, I say it because that's what I tell my medical students, that don't think that this 3 years plus 2 or 3 years of fellowship or DM it's something very, let's say a yummy piece of chocolate is waiting for you, and you have that's yours, but you just have to work a little hard for that. So don't worry about it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Chhavi. It was very informational.
Sure.
And you presented all the things, all the queries of the students are. And I would like to add one thing. It's here also in PGME, it's quite changed. Not more than 5% questions are one-liner. And the last.
Okay, that's good.
It's all scenario-based questions.
Yeah.
More than 50% it's scenario-based questions.
Okay.
Diagnosis-based from the last 2-3 years.
That's nice. That's good, because I was like, there's not a single question in USMLE, I can tell you, in the second USMLE second and third, that is one line. Like, it's like 2 pages, 1 page question. That's good, but it makes you think, and it's a good mental workout. Yeah. So good.
Thank you, Chhavi. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you.
May I present you the certificate?
Sure.
We'll reach you,
I'm going to take a
definitely.
picture.
Yes, here it is.
I will come to present you.
That's so nice. That's so nice, Pavit.
Here I would like to add, I feel proud to say that she's my batchmate.
Yes, and thank you. It was really nice of you guys to do this. I think awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So our next speaker is Dr. Anil Agrawal. Just let me open his CV. Yes. Dr. Anil Agrawal, he graduated in 1974. So till now we have been listening to young colleagues. Now we are going to hear from a very senior alumni, Georgian alumni. And he graduated in 1974. He had several certificates of honors when he was here at KGMU. He was a gold medalist. But then he started MDS in Lucknow only. He did his MDS in prosthodontics, but left after 6 months and came to US. So joined here, but then left for US. Completed his DDS from University of Iowa. Postgraduate prosthodontic residency from Northwestern University Dental School in 1979. He completed that. And if you know, Northwestern University is the home of the father of dentistry, Dr. G.V. Black and Dr. Skinner, whose books you have been reading all through. So then he did a part-time basis MS in oral biology, which he completed in 1982, and his research topic was on bone growth and bone resorption. Then he started his journey as assistant professor of prosthodontics in Northwestern University. He became board certified prosthodontist. Now he has been tenured associate professor for almost 21 years. He's the director of clinics and director of treatment planning center. He co-founded Implant Teaching Center with Dr. Ross Taylor in 1985. Along this entire journey, he received several fellowships, diplomate status in American College of Osseointegration, Academy of General Dentistry, fellowship and diplomat of International College of Implantology. So from Northwestern, he received the highest alumni merit award of the year. And so we present to you Dr. Anil Agrawal. Over to you, Dr. Anil Agrawal, sir.
Have you made the host so I can share the screen?
Yes, I made you.
Give me a second till I can share the screen. You can see my wonderful family there when I'm turning the PowerPoint on. All right, is everybody ready for me?
Yes.
I feel like out of place because I have gray hair and I left India 45 years ago. So it has been a long, wonderful journey. And as a scientist, as a researcher, as a writer, and being in the medical field, our left brain becomes very prominent. And sometimes our right brain is not as much explored. So I was just exposed to this 3-4 days ago with Dr. Mehrotra just by accident or incident or coincidence or with the grace of God. And I start thinking, I said, what should I present? So I look back at my history and my own journey. And then instead of focusing on my journey, I said, why don't I focus in journey of lots of people that who have gone through life to achieve success? And lots of technical things, where to apply, what to do. With Mr. Google around now, you can easily find all those resources. So I decided to take a different turn for this sharing my thought process to my old matter. And the topic I picked for it is how to achieve success. But that's where we're leading to, aren't we? We are here at a certain stage of life, and everybody's at a different stage of life. And that is the part of the journey. And it's a beautiful journey. And it's not about reaching an end. And it's not about accomplishing something at the end. It's the journey by itself. And I know KG, it used to be KGMC, now it's KGMU. But let me do this. Let me get the pointer right here. Can you all see this, what I'm doing, or no?
Yes, we can see.
So you see this, what's written in the logo of KGMU?
Yes.
Sincere service, sacrifice. And whether you believe or not, when I joined Lucknow in 1970, 95% of the people listening were not probably born. And I noticed that logo and I searched it. I said, what sincerity means? What service means? What sacrifice means? So all the answers which you're looking for in life are right here. Sincerity. I have to be sincere to myself. I have to be sincere to my profession. And I have to be sincere to my patient, to my community, to family. Service. What service means? Not just going to work and treating patient and collecting few dollars or rupees or whatever currency we are in, but service means I am providing a service to human being. I'm taking care of a human being. I never see myself as a prosthodontist or dentist or implantologist. I see myself as someone who are helping human being increase their quality of life. And what sacrifice means, you heard from Dr. Gupta and two Guptas, I think both were Gupta, and the first young man, Vinit. Sacrifice. Sacrifice what you do to yourself. My family, my wife had to sacrifice a lot when I was going through all the education. And this is a surprise for you. When I was all done, I joined the specialty training for periodontics. And my wife put her foot down. She said, if you go for other training for perio, you have to find a new wife. So lots of sacrifices are made. Now, so one part of my life was here in this logo. And now rest of my life turned into this logo. And if you look here, it says Q Com Sant Vera. That's an Italian word. And it came, Northwestern adopted this in 1850. And what does it stand for? It stands for that whatsoever things are true. Whatsoever things are true. So we are all a spiritual being. And our spiritual training, the way we were brought up, what are the truth is? And if we go for the truth, life becomes very, very simple. And I don't want to become a philosopher here because I know time is limited and you guys are probably tired. So what I decided to do, I just want to give you this background. So what I decided to do in last few hours, I put this together. When I got the invitation, I said, let me share something deeper. Instead of going on a surface, I tried to go a little bit up the sky and let me look at the life from above and see what can I share through my experience. Instead of talking about me, let me share the basis of it. And lots of people in life who are successful, they have followed these principles. Look at Dr. Divya Mehrotra. I saw her resume and she accomplished so much. So the principle which I'm going to discuss with, all successful people in life have followed those principles knowingly or unknowingly. Means you may not be aware of these principles, but you might have followed them. And here it is. This is on the left side, which you see, this is my practice. We received lots of awards for the best office design of the year, best management, best technology. And we came #1 in the state of Illinois, where we are located, and we came #3 in the whole US. Anyway, come back from here. Now there's a little bit joke here. Look at it, how I came to US. That's what KGMU left me with. When I left KGMC, that's my graduation picture. When I got my BDS, and look what happened to me here. Everything ruined. Can you see that? Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so there's a little joke. Somebody can laugh. Look what happened, what the time does to you. Look at my hairstyle and face. Anyway, so this is me. That's my office. That's the name of my practice. And I have respect for both the institution because this institution gave me the starting point and fed me the basic philosophy of life and my profession that I'm still enjoying every day. And this institution gave me a second home, and this has been part of my life. So I'm very obligated to both of them forever. When we talk about success, I was very confused. What is it, success? I go to temple, I go to Chinmaya mission, I go to Gurdwara, and then I listen to my mom and dad, listen to my uncle, aunt, my fellows, and they all had different definition of success. So some success was money, but it didn't suit me well. I saw lots of people who were very rich, but I don't want them to be friends with them. I don't want them around me. And then I saw some people which I admired. They had nothing. They were totally broke financially. So I searched what the success is. What are we after as a professional? You are in BDS, MBBS, or postgraduate, whatever you're doing. What are you looking for? We're all looking for a success, and success have different definitions. So I went for a search. I said, let me find out before I achieve success, what success is. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you see all these people here? They look at drugs. Looks like they have not even taken a shower. And look at them. Look at this guy here. Would you have invested $10,000 with these hippies in 1975? Now, I'm talking about success, and I'm going to explain to you what success really means to me now after I'm doing lots of search. So would you spend $10,000 or 10,000 rupees or lakh rupees, whatever, with these hippies in 1975? Everybody said, no way, I'm not giving them $1. Well, if you did, you will be a multi-millionaire right now. Look at this. Who's this guy? Who was in jail? Bill Gates, Paul Allen. This is a Microsoft team. So let me make my point, what success really means. Let me see what success means here for some reason. Okay. So the best definition of success I found by Earl Nightingale. He was the father of motivational speaking in America in 1930s. So success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So Dr. Chhavi Gupta and Himani Gupta and Vinit, they all explained that to you in a different way. And I'm considering them in a way more philosophical way. So success is not where you are. Success is where you are going. So if you somebody living in a big house with a nice car, wonderful, nice looking wife and wonderful kid, doesn't mean they're successful. Or if you see somebody on the street who's walking in torn down clothes, does not mean they're not successful, because it depends where they're going. And that was my idea of putting Bill Gates and Microsoft's picture was. So if you saw those people that time, it didn't matter where they were. They had a vision and they had a purpose. At first speaker, Aditi, if I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, has described to you. So success is a progressive realization, means I'm progressing towards every single day. And what the idea means, an idea for which I'm willing to give my life. So are you all okay with me so far?
Yes.
Yeah, because I can't interject like I like to do in live seminars.
Yeah.
So results. Now there are X number of students in one class, and they are taught by the same professors. They have the same books. They have the same exam. They're doing the same residency. Why their results are so much different in life? So there are 3 people in the class, they reach to the highest level. I'm sure with Dr. Mehrotra's class, I mean to insult anybody by any mean, might not have accomplished as much as she did. Why is there such a huge difference in the result that people experience in life? Let's talk about that. Because if we can comprehend these principles, lots of question answer we have will become very minute. Because now you know the juice of it, you know the basis of it. So answer comes from mind, miracle of mind. The mind is the greatest power in all creation. And you have that. We all have it. God has given us the mind. God has given us the proper DNA in our body, which has everything in it. Our job is to just explore it. That's all we need to do. And this has been a very major slide for me in my life. And let me explain to you what that means. Whatever mind can conceive, okay, don't underestimate yourself. Don't underestimate the power of your mind. Don't underestimate what you are capable of accomplishing. But you have to conceive it. And not only conceiving, you have to believe in it. And only then you can achieve it. Now, I don't know, can you see my quote here? Dr. Divya, can you see my quote?
Yes, we can see.
Can you see this? There's somewhere here. Do you see a pin
Yes.
here?
Yes, yes.
So this is called purple leaf. And purple leaf, when I go to Northwestern University and when I walk around with this pin, everybody will give me an honor, whether they know me or not. Why is it? So let's go back to the mind. So this purple pin is given when the university has given the highest honor to a professional for their accomplishment or service to the community. So when I joined Northwestern as a brown little kid, and Northwestern didn't have too many non-Americans, I was the first, or among very few first, who joined the postgraduate program, and I got admission because they saw my degree in professional accomplishment, and I had done the DDS here already. I was topper in DDS here, I was topper in India in BDS. So the day one, I walked in Northwestern, and as soon as I find out what is this purple pen is, I made up my mind that day that before I die, because some people don't get it till they're 65, 70, 80. It's just given when you have really grinded the wheel for all your life. I conceived that, and I kept believing it that one day I'm going to have it. And 2008, I got it. So the reason, it's not about me. I don't want to talk about me. I don't want to brag about me because I've done nothing in my life. I've just a very simple life, done few things, a lot more to do. So conceive it and believe in it, and you can achieve it. So simple. Now, remember I had a slide before that why some people have so much different results in their life. What is the reason for that? Now, if you can note this, Psycho-Cybernetic by Maxwell Waltz, Cybernetic System is amazing book. And I was very lucky that early stage of my life when I landed in US and when I was doing my program and studying, one day I was in a lounge and somebody was reading this book and they had left it there. And I picked up the book because I know who left the book. I said, I'll give it to them. And I happened to just read that book. Then I asked that person, can I borrow it? We didn't have Google or internet those days, remember? Remember my gray hair? 1975, I came here. Cybernetic System, that book changed my life. And paradigms. So let me give you an example of paradigm. This is a book on paradigm too, but this is the only book that changed my whole life. Cybernetic System means self-image, how I feel about myself. Remember Dr. Chhavi Gupta said so many times, when you go for interview here, they're not going to ask you medical question, dental question. They're going to see your personality. They're going to see who you are. And you know, the most important part, which I would like to add a word there, is how's your attitude? How's your attitude about everything? Because you could be a really smart person, but your attitude sucks. Nobody wants you around. So cybernetic system and paradigm, these are the two conditions which we are conditioned ever since we are born. Let me give you an example of paradigm. One day when I was growing up in India, we were okay. We're not the best, smartest person, not the best, richest family. We were okay, average. My mom was totally not educated. She was like second or third grade. And my dad was really well-trained engineer. And he had lots of training in UK, worked for British government. And one day there is some pair of shoes had come out in India. I don't even remember the detail. And I asked my dad, Dad, can I buy this pair of shoes? First thing he said, what do you think you're a Rockefeller? I didn't know who the Rockefeller was. Then I did the search and I find out who was the richest person in America at that time. So see, he installed a paradigm in my mind that you cannot have those shoes because you're not rich. Then I asked my mom, who was not educated. She said, why do you want to buy a pair of shoes? This was her answer. Why do you want to buy a pair of shoes? I'm disappointed in you. Why not buy the whole store? See that? So these are the paradigm. So these are the two big conditioning. And you can change it. You can change your cybernetic system, means self-image, and you can break your paradigms. And these are the two things hold people back. What is holding most people back in life? Because remember, you have a mind. And God has given you all the DNA. So what holds you most people back? Our old paradigms. And the people who break those paradigms and people who break those limitations, you know, like Dr. Vinit said, he didn't have enough money to come to US and he didn't know what he's going to do. So these paradigms hold us back. So if you can conceive it, you will achieve it, but you have to believe in it. So paradigm are multitude habits, and they're really not your habits. They're imposed on you from other people by giving the messages through our life. So paradigm influences our thinking. And if we can recognize that and say, listen, I don't care where I was born. I don't care how rich or poor my dad is. I don't care who I know, who I don't know. I know nobody. I had no resources. And you dig your own hole. I did not let my paradigm or family background. See, people believe in excuses. Oh, he is this because his dad is this. No, all BS. You make up your mind and you, believe in your mind and break your paradigm. Don't let it influence. So by breaking paradigm coming from KGMC, which I'm very thankful to for their education, I got the wonderful education, whatever the sources we had or didn't have, but I feel I'm very blessed that I got a very solid education from wonderful professors. And by breaking paradigm, I had decided a dream in my mind. I want to be the best in my field. And like Dr. Chhavi Gupta, somebody had asked her, how do you know which is specialty? I knew very early on. When I was second year, sophomore, in India they call second year, here we call sophomore. When I was third year, I just enjoyed prosthodontics. I just love it. I don't know why. And when I graduated from my BDS, and I'm trying to force my brain cells to remember a few things, because I was the topper of the class. I have reached the highest mark in all 4 years combined. And in India, when you do a postgraduate at that time, it's based on your marks. And the people who had the lowest mark, who wanted to go to postgraduate, they went to prosthodontist. And people had the top mark, they went to orthodontist and oral surgeon. And when I went to Dr. Chawla, and he said, everybody's waiting for you. First, you have to decide so we can assign slots to everyone else. I said, I want a prosthodontist. And he started laughing at me. He said, why prosthodontist? That's not for you. I said, but I love it. And you heard that Dr. Chhavi Gupta said very well, do what you like. I said, I don't care. I'm going to join prosthodontist. And I did it. This is the nurse who was in a car accident. Came up with the whole maxilla pretty much on the road. Nose was broken, lip was cut, tongue was broken. We put it together, did the bone graft, just floor. So see, so all this happened because in believing in yourself. And you can accomplish anything you want. And remember one thing. This is a advice coming here from an old man, which have gone through a lot in life to whatever there is, that there is only two people involved in that deal. Don't blame your parents. Don't blame your professors. Don't blame your neighborhood. Don't blame your money or lack of money. There are only two people involved in this deal, and that is you and yourself. See that? Who, me? You see, this deal is strictly between you and yourself. No one is involved. Only you can decide. And you are the one, this is your journey, and you are the driver. So all of you, BDS, MBBS, postgraduate, whatever student, whatever stage of your life you are, my suggestion, instead of giving you name of association, where to apply, what to do, I'm going to give you the juice, the basis of survival, basis of achieving success. I want all of you to ask two questions, just two questions. Question number one, am I able? But you know, there are certain laws of nature by which the universe works. So I'm not going to go into it because maybe Dr. Divya will invite me again and I'll give you all day or half day seminar, go more in detail in it. But ask two questions from you. Am I able? So one of the natural law of nature is law of receiving. And that means people receive only where they believe that I am able. Do you know it will come to you as a shock? Lots of people don't think they deserve it. When I decided to come to US and we decided to do all this studying, I had no money. I got the student loan. I borrowed here, there. I paid loan for 6-7 years after I finished and I was professor. But so lots of people, they don't believe they deserve it. And when you don't believe it, you're not going to get it. So make yourself believe. That comes cybernetic system. Cybernetic system is self-image. Ask this question, am I able? Yes, you are. But you have to answer that, not me. Don't let me answer for you. And second, am I willing? You saw the first speaker. He went through. You have to put your time in. You, as you said, Dr. Chhavi Gupta said, chocolate is waiting for you. And that chocolate is very sweet. And you can enjoy it for life. Am I willing? I'm willing to do what? Am I willing to make commitment to you, from you? No, you don't promise to anybody else. You have to promise only to one person, and that is commitment to you from you. So am I able? You have to answer that. And if you don't, use cybernetic system as a guide and improve your self-image. Yes, you're able, but you have to answer that, not me. Lots of people don't think they deserve it. And am I willing? Commitment to you from you. Decision. Now, when I went through this, the next thing is decision. Make a decision. Decide. Some people cannot decide. They cannot decide between this and this and that. Just make a decision. Making a wrong decision is better than not making a decision. But here, we're talking about making a decision about your own life. And you are the only, your best psychologist is yourself. Remember, deal is between you and yourself. There's nobody else involved. So make a decision. What decision do you want to make? So this is director's chair right here. Who's your director? Most people are extra in their own movies. Now, I don't know who the famous actor, actresses are in India nowadays. I don't watch movies too much, but I heard Akshay Kumar or Shah Rukh Khan. So let's say if you were making a movie and you're the director, you are the director of your life. But lots of people are extra in their own movie. Don't you think you'll be the main hero? You don't want to be main in charge? That's the decision you have to make. You have to make decision. What do you really want? Write down. Do not use computer. Do not type. Write. I write with my own handwriting. Because when you write with your own handwriting on a piece of paper, pen, pencil, whatever, you create vibrations in the universe. And universe listens to you and respond. So anyway, so what do you really want from your life? Do you want to be an extra in your movie when you're the director? Or you want to be the main hero? I'd rather sit on director's chair instead of be extra in the movie. So you decide what you really want. And once you decide, see, mix all this thing I have covered so far, because a smaller amount I have been given and it's not a full day lecture. So I've tried to concise major points to put them together as like a quick recipe. Now, you heard 2-3 speakers. Let's go back. This is so beautiful. I love this. And that is creating an edge, creative edge. What does creative edge means? Having a creative edge separates you from the masses. So when I landed here, I was the shortest, different looking professor at Northwestern. My students were taller, bigger than me, all the professors around me. How do you separate yourself? You create an edge, create your own specialty. In every specialty, you can have a specialty. So in 1985, I find out there's a guy by the name Professor Brennemark coming to University of Toronto. And I fought at Northwestern with my chairman, everybody, send me there for the course. And I did. And they ended up sending me and ended up meeting Professor Brennemark. And Dr. Divya, I don't write down all this by resume. Then I went to Sweden and I got lots of training in Gothenburg University in Sweden and also in Toronto under Dr. George Jarv. And I realized that time, wait a minute. I'm going to take my whole prosthodontic specialty and I'm going to cut it down to one. Let me become separate from the masses. And I just picked implantology and I just kept going towards all the implant. So all the fellowship that you see I have, they're all implant or bone related. That's why I did my master's in bone biology. Now, when I go over this slide in very, very short, please don't get offended, okay? And don't take it negative way. I am here trying to share a few things. I'm not teaching anything. I have nothing to tell you. I'm just sharing things based on my experience of life. And as I said, I'm trying to go more on a philosophical basis. The creative edge enables a person to navigate through life. Once you create that creative edge, you keep going. See Dr. Divya's Mehrotra's resume? She picked one area and she kept going everywhere, from Scotland to Ireland to Hawaii to you name it, to New York and everywhere. And this is the thing when I said, don't get offended if I say that. What I realized, because remember, I was also the, when he said director of clinic, what does that mean? That means no student could graduate until they sign their paper. So I got to meet every student. And in 1 year of my teaching, I probably had 2,500 students that they went, under my directorship or counselor or whatever title you have in India. And what I realized, that the people who became most successful, they had a very high class listening capabilities. They listen. Now, do you know the difference in listening and hearing? Hearing is a noise. So when I turn the radio on and music on, I'm listening and I'm singing on dum dum diga diga or whatever, that's just hearing. Hearing is not listening. Listening is emotional. So when you want to create a creative edge, when you want to be separate from the masses, you stop talking and you start listening. So listen to things around you, pick up things from them, learn from your professors, teachers. Don't make fun of them because these things are gonna stay in your, I still remember there was Dr. H.D. Gupta. Everybody did not like him. Thank God, rest his soul. I loved him because he was rude and he was straightforward, but I loved listening to him. So, and I didn't know what I was doing at that time. And creative edge, you know what it does also? It saves you from impulses, fear, intuition. Because that's what we go through. We have fear. We have fears of future. We have fear of life. We have fear of death. And then we make decisions based on impulses. Don't make decisions on impulses. Anyway, I don't have all day to go over. This is a very common monologue or saying in America. And also in India, I don't remember, I left 45 years ago, so I forgot a lot of this. Learn the tricks of the trade. And I said, wait a minute, why do you have to learn the tricks of the trade? My saying is, learn the trade, not the tricks. Know your trade and master your profession. I'm going to share you one little tiny story here. If you, Dr. Divya, do you have a little time or no?
Yes, we have time.
Okay. Are you enjoying it or I'm wasting time?
So we are enjoying.
Okay, good. It's something different than you expected.
No, it's
So
what we expected.
Yeah, so master your profession, know your trade. So when I was graduating from Northwestern University, my director of the program was Dr. Edward Bruin. And I'm waiting for him. I got my degree. I got all the walked on the stage, came down, everybody's taking picture, usual stuff. And he never congratulated me. So I went to him. I said, Dr. Bruin, you haven't said a word to me. You didn't congratulate me that I graduated. And he got mad at me. He said, Anil, as a professional, you never graduate. You're always a student. And the day you think you graduated, that should be your last day in the profession. And I still remember that, see, from 1979 when I finished my residency, I still remember that. So master your profession, know your trade, and nobody will stop you. Now, this is something I learned after I came here. And it was just by luck that I get exposed to some wonderful people in life who were wonderful mentors. And what I learned from them, that when I'm improving my professional skills, I have to also improve myself as a person. I have to improve who I am. I have to become better at me, because only a better human being, a better person, can be really a true professional. And that's when your patient will love you. And that's when you will be respected and honored, not just based on your degrees and advancements. You need that. That goes without saying. But you have to, and that's why I started spending lots of time. So in later part of my life, I took more classes of non-dental related than only dental related, my profession related. But I did keep up both. So invest time in you. Read a good book. Find out things which can help you improve. And that also gives your right brain a little bit food. That also needs food and improves you. It will have better relations with your wife and with your children and with family. Me and my wife are married now 45 years and we're still in love. We still go on date. I have awesome relations with my children, but that had nothing to do with my professional accomplishment. So spend time. Anyway, let me move on. Spend time in you personally and professional accomplishment. I had a full day of practice today, and when I was leaving, coming home, my nurse ended up sending these 2 x-rays to me. Sometimes I like to see x-rays, and these are the cases we did today. So this patient had come with 23 teeth. We took all the teeth out, cleaned all the mess, then we took an x-ray afterwards to see what we got left. We placed the implant same day in 1 day. This lady, we took all these teeth out, did the alveoplasty, did bone graft, whatever process was needed, place all these implants. But anyway, so I just put it to enrich your left brain also. And this is very common in our office. We do it pretty much on a routine basis. And I never see I'm providing teeth to people. Then I'm underselling myself. I provide them quality of life. I provide them function. I provide them to deal better with systemic diseases. I'm providing them better nutrition. I'm providing, they become 2 inches taller. Somebody walking out like this and this. So we started this out in the morning at 7 o'clock. We did all the exodontia, all the bone preparation, all the alveoplasty, whatever we had to do, bone graft were needed, placed the implant same day. So we started at 7 o'clock, and by 2:33, patient walked out with permanent fixed bridge. And so treat a human being. And when I talk about this, invest time in you, that wakes you up. That's what woke me up. And I realized it's not about dentistry. It's not about doing this. It's about helping a human being. And then they become friends for your life. And I never see I gave them teeth. I gave them quality of life. You know, and I have a whole history on this patient, but I'm not going to go into it because I'll deviate from the discussion for today. This is a very common occurrence with us. So by creating that edge, by believing in myself, coming from KGMC, you kept going to the journey for your passion. And so anyway, is everybody still awake with me?
Yeah.
Good, because you know, I'm used to giving live seminars, so you interact with people. I'm missing that here. But anyway, so at the end, I'm coming to conclusion pretty soon. What does really matter? Let's put everything together. Creativity, you have in you. We all have in us. Some people don't explore it. Explore your creativity. Become creative with your own profession. Explore things. That's how all the invention happens. That's how all the research happens. I mean, I did 5 or 6 research projects, and they're still going on, some of them. And 2 were also got, I don't write down all this. I may also have 2 patents on 2 materials that I invented. So it's not about me again. I forget, I apologize, I talk about me. Let's talk about creativity. So what really matters at the end? Be creative. Forget about the paradigm. Improve your cybernetic system, cybernetic system. And this is something gonna surprise you a little bit when I go over with this. Abundance. Some people say, well, this is already taken. No, it's not. This earth has abundance of everything. There's unlimited source of supply around us. Don't believe in shortage, believe in abundance. There is lots of abundance. Become creative, and there's no shortage. Whatever you want to do, you can do it because there's plenty of abundance. And this is a big one. I never fear about competition. I opened my practice in the most crowded area, which is surrounded by dentists. And last 3 years in a row, our practice has been labeled or given the award. I have lots of awards in the office as the top 5% practices in USA. So when I left India, I never imagined that, but slowly I started believing in it. The principle I discussed with you. So have no fear, because competition shouldn't scare you. If you're creative, competition has no value for you, and believe in abundance. Dr. Divya, when I wrote you about 3 books, actually I have 4 now. This one is almost done. I'll be printing pretty soon. And lots of things which I talked about. Maybe in future I will have chance to give other seminar, then I'll talk about this book and give you some bits from this seminar. But lots of things that I discussed with you in a different format. Some of the principles are described in this book, Real Essence of Life. And I don't think I have any copy left because I never wrote book to sell. So I mostly distribute for free. My kids don't like it, but that's okay. So we are on the 2nd print for this book. I don't publicize myself, I don't advertise. So I have sent a copy of this book to Dr. Mehrotra, and you're more than welcome to distribute all the attending. It's a digital copy, okay? So coming to the end of the short discussion, I hope I've accomplished my objective. My objective was basically to wake you up, give you some hidden factor which stops our growth, and maybe show you some encouragement in a different fashion, different format, by stimulating your right brain. So all you got to take action. Whatever I discuss with you, these things, by the way, not designed by me. I just explored them, find out, and I acted upon them. And lots of successful people in life, they have acted in the same principle, knowingly or unknowingly, and then produce in life. When you are a productive human being of the society, only then you enjoy life. And that's why people who get free money, they never enjoy life because they did not produce anything. They just got it for free. You have so many stories about kids who come from rich parents and they are all spoiled and not doing good. But anyway, enjoyment is from within. It has nothing to do with car and money and house and what you got, what you don't have, and how much you have in the bank. So take action, produce, and enjoy life. Thank you very much. I would like to thank at the end, not in the starting. So I want to thank you, Dr. Divya Mehrotra, for the invitation. I know we just connected maybe 5-6 days ago before you didn't know I existed on this earth. And it's all God's blessing and blessing of all my gurus, Swamijis, my family, and my patients that I got to meet you, and you extended the invitation, and I was able to pull it through and put something together for you. I want to also thank you, all the participants, for joining me and listening me. I know you're in the morning hour, but it's almost 11 o'clock, I think. Yeah, it's 11:14 here. And if you have any questions, Dr. Mehrotra, you're going to share this anyway. I'm giving you my personal email. This comes to me. But please make sure in your email, very short, precise, and only regarding this topic of the seminar. And I will entertain and answer every email. So if you don't get email in next 2 weeks, don't get worried, because my grandkids are coming over tomorrow or day after. So I'll be busy for 1 week with them. I have 4 grandkids, and this is my fax number. And as long as I'm alive on this earth, I will always be thankful to this institution here for teaching me sincerity, service, and sacrifice. And I'll always be thankful to Northwestern University for teaching me whatsoever things are true. So good night. I shouldn't say good night. It's good morning there. Good morning. Happy lunch. And if you have any questions, I don't have any answers, but you're more than welcome to ask, and I'll see what I can do to entertain. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anil. It was truly inspirational, awakening, allowing us to think, rethink, look inside, and search for the questions you suggested. Everyone should know what do they want to do, what is their goal, what they want, how they want. So it is only you. I believe that you yourself are the creator, is the creator of yourself. So you, as you said, that this is the director's chair, you want to be an extra person or the director yourself. So you are, part of you is the creator, and whatever you think, you believe, you can do it. So thank you once again, Dr. Anil, for joining us in such a short notice and sharing your thoughts and your philosophy of life with us. We'll be bothering you again and again. We'll keep in touch, and happy Christmas, happy New Year. Enjoy your holidays. Thank you so much. I'd like to share a certificate. I'll post it to you as well, but then for the moment of time, I'll share the screen.
That's okay. I don't know what happened to my screen, but I want to thank you same way as you did. Pleasure was all mine. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I hope and wish that some of the guidance might help some people, might not. Because generally when I give lecture, I like to know who my audience are. Here I was kind of blindfolded, so I tried to put a very generic type of seminar or short talk. And I think you want mentorship means guidance, and you wanted somebody to guide in a different direction. And all these speakers did wonderful job, but I wanted to guide them in a little bit different direction. And that was my whole purpose. And I'm hoping that I've accomplished my objective without knowing the nature of the audience. And if I insulted anyone by presenting very preliminary data or material, I apologize. My intentions were good. My thought process was clean. And if it helps one person, I will feel my purpose accomplished. So thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you. Richa, Anjani, please share your thoughts. Please talk to our speaker.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And it was really the feedback which I'm getting from my PGs here in the department is that your experience itself was speaking to us. And that is how you stood out, like, for each one of us. And thank you for sharing your experience. It was like the 45 years were reflecting in your words. So, truly.
Thank you very much.
I just want to remind.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So please go ahead, please.
No, you go ahead, please. You're first. I'm done.
Okay. So I would also like to remind our participants to submit the feedback for the such sessions. The link is in the chat box. So yeah, Dr. Anjani, yeah, over to you.
I also have his book. He has shared his book, and I'll be circulating that book on the emails received on the feedback form.
Okay.
I want to just warn one thing. In the last page or somewhere, there are a couple of spelling mistakes. And let me tell you why is that. My son was getting married in 2008. And my book was in the process at the time getting edited. I don't know why I'm telling these stories, have no meaning, but I came to my mind, so I'll share with you. He's also very health conscious. He's a ER trauma surgeon, and he's also MBA, and he's a vice president of a big company, as well as he's a ER physician. So when he was getting married, you know how we go to Indian wedding and they give a box of sweets? And he told me, he said, half my uncle auntie have diabetes, and I'm not going to give anybody any sweets in my wedding. So I said, what would you like to give them? He said, well, we have to give something. How about if we give a copy of your book? So I had to push the publisher and editor to push that copy through the print very fast. So that's what happened. So we gave 350 people who came to wedding, they all got the book. Some were happy, some were looking for sweets. So I told them there's a hidden sweet inside here. So anyway, any questions for me? Anything else?
Dr. Chuck, would you like to say something? Dr. Chuck is head of the Department of Pediatric Dentistry.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm honored to meet you.
Yes, very good morning, all of you. Dr. Divya, are you listening to me?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Hello.
See you too.
Yes, we can hear
Yes, sir,
you.
Dr. Divya, are you able to listen to me?
Yes.
Very well.
Yes. So, congratulations to the presenter and Dr. Presenter and Dr. Divya Malhotra to organize this type of topic, how we will get the success in the life. So this is a very inspiring topic for everyone as a human beings, especially for the students of our university. So you have selected very good topic and you have discussed in a very best way, in a good way. This give the very inspirational things to the students and our residents. Whatever the person is there, they have attended this program, this meeting. So I hope this will give the benefit of our students and residents also. So thank you very much. I want to say these things and congratulations. And I hope you will organize this type of topic in future also. Thank you.
Yeah, when Dr. Malhotra called me, I said, I was debating what should I pick, what should I not pick, and not knowing the audience. So I put a topic which I thought can help everybody in every age.
Yeah.
And I like Dr. Rakesh because your hair are pretty much like mine. He didn't hear that, did he?
Yeah, I don't think
Dr. Anil.
No, call me Anil.
Dr. Divya, Dr. Anil.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Anil, I congratulate you. You know the so many things regarding how we will get the success. This is a very important topic and very important thing for the life for everyone. So if as a teacher or as a human being, as an advisor or consultant, or maybe a lecturer, assistant professor, professor in the university, at any place in the public place also, if you are giving these type of tips. So these tips will give the definite benefit to our society, and the peoples are taking the training in the institution and in any college or any medical college or dental college. So again, congratulations for presenting these types of the things. These give the very good benefit to our students and learning persons in the university or institution. Thank you very much, and I hope that you will give the next time you will present these type topics, so our students will be benefited by these topics and discussion and conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you for your wonderful comment. I don't know if I deserve them or not, but your blessing and your comment,
Okay.
will take it.
Dr. Anjani, would you like to say something? Anjani? Dr. Anjani is in the Department of Periodontics. He is faculty there.
Thank you so much, sir, for lighting your words of wisdom. It's very nice to interact all the aspects of not only the topic, besides the topics. So thank you so much. And I especially thanks to Dr. Divya ma'am, who is organizing such a great events and uniting all our alumni from different parts of the globe. So thank you so much, Anil sir, Divya ma'am, and all wonderful. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for your compliment. It's all well taken and it's all undeserved. All the teaching comes from lots of gurus, Swamijis, my parents, and my patients. I learn from them every day.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
So you have to have a thankful attitude. But anyway, thank you, everyone.
My pleasure.
Some benefit, and I'm available at your service anytime. I will make it happen.
Thank you, Himani. Thank you, Chhavi. Thank you, everyone, for the morning
Take
session.
care.
Yeah, thank you. See you then.
Take care. I'm leaving now, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, sir. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Divya and your team. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.